the other guys.
Yeah, they're the Bobbsey twins.
Hi, Peter Don. You're here displaying MyRadioTest. Tell me about it.
MyRadioTest is an online service, predominantly music-based, but also content. So we have very good interactive content tests, all online. We call that the crowd air check, which is quite a valuable way to measure both speech and entertainment. It works for, let's say, news-related content, entertainment-related content, but predominantly what MyRadioTest does is music testing. Weekly music tests and large music tests.
Is it an app?
It has its own app to interface. It's panel-based. It's very flexible, let's say. We do an awful lot of strategic research also using that as an interface, but that connects into our sort of a more comprehensive software for analysis.
I'm sure that different clients have different needs and different results, but if you were just to kind of look across all of the things that you've learnt, what would be the top three things that you've learnt?
Well, that's a tricky question, but I think the first thing is that the world's moving to online, so therefore the old idea of doing auditorium tests and call-out and CATI-based interviewing is pretty much gone. Secondly, that the world is moving to telephones. So, for example, most of our music testing is now done on handheld smartphones. And I think the third thing is that, as always, as long as you get the focus right or the strategy right, then the music testing is much easier. So you don't test the market, you test the right section of the market.
So how does that happen? Does a station identify its P1 listeners and then you
what they've really got to do, I think, is they've got to have a clear strategy, because you can't really do music testing in an abstract way, because in theory you could end up with the Beatles to David Guetta if that's the answer. So that makes no sense, and it makes even less sense in a more competitive market. So.
Can you test new music that's not been played?
Absolutely. We have two ways of doing that. The first one is that we have algorithms which say, okay, maybe it's new, but there are some people who know it, and what's the take-up of those people? And secondly, we have an option for people to say, I don't know the song, and then we say, well, even if you don't know the song, tell us what you think about it. So, and they're both sort of really trying to get early indicators on music take-up.
From all the data that you collect, can you predict what's going to be a popular radio song? Can you analyse the beat per minute and the style?
No, we don't really do that. I mean, effectively, what we can do quite early is we can just see how the speed of the take-up and the focus of really who's responding to it. But what that does never do, what will never do, is replace people's need for fresh new sounds. So the problem, of course, is if you get too focused on that sounds like that, then you end up with sameness, and then suddenly you miss the next change, because there will be a change.
Yeah, actually that's one of the things that the streaming music services have, and it's a double-edged sword.
Sure.
They can predict and link songs that sound the same, and you hope you like that, but after a while of listening to that channel, it sounds a bit the same.
Yeah, pretty boring. And I think that's the let's say the advantage that radio has over the streaming services, because even the Spotify radio selections can descend into a sort of a fairly bland similarity after a while. Whereas I think, a well-programmed radio station has the opportunity to say, well, okay, it may be focused, but it should also have good variety and freshness.
I guess it's the people and the gut feeling that make the difference. And
absolutely.
Make a difference in an algorithm.
And also, I mean, most music schedulers are very, very sophisticated. But the best music programming is done when somebody looks at that and says, okay, that may meet the rules, but actually it's going to sound better if I move this around.
Thanks a lot.
Pleasure.